cows. Snooze. Get up, mate. Get up, my car. You may ask yourself, how did I get here? Where is that large automobile? This is not my beautiful house. This is not my track that I thought I'd be riding with Phil. Well, actually, it's the right track, but I'm just not riding it with Phil at the moment because of a miscommunication and a change in the normal way that we do things. And the fact that Phil and I, unlike Neil, Michael and I, are not using the same way to communicate. So let me backtrack and explain a little. So you saw in the last video that we left off, we were up at the lookout, the Billirimba lookout. And when you get to the top of that, you basically take the main track, because most people just go up the main track. Here I am in the video, by the way, checking on my phone and looking on my screen for a message from Phil. So the main track just goes up and goes up to the lookout. And so up at that track, Phil and I had looked at the GPS route that he had. He uses his phone for GPS navigation, and so we saw that it went down Billirimba Firetrail, which I'm on right now, and went down to Rocky River Road. So I said, well, like in the previous part, it's not fair to make someone ride in your dust all the time. So I said, well, you go first. As Phil went down from the lookout, there was actually a four-wheel drive literally at the intersection when Phil was getting to it. And so Phil pulled to the left, not realizing on his GPS at that time, because I'm not sure whether he had a live map loaded that updated his position, or he was just looking at a mud map. I don't know what Phil uses. Like I said, Neil, Michael and I all use Zumo XTs connected with Garmin InReach. So anyway, Phil went right. I came down, 60 seconds later after giving him a bit of space, and then had to slow down for the four-wheel drive that was coming up. So I waited and chatted to them for a second, and of course didn't ask whether a motorbike rider had just been down, because Phil had gone down 60 seconds earlier. So talked to them for a minute and got to the intersection and turned left. So naturally I'm thinking that Phil is in front of me, and is riding like the wind. So that made me take off and ride like the wind, and I actually forgot to turn my camera on and didn't even record those 10 minutes where I was scooting along trying to catch up to Phil. So this video kind of starts right when I have realized that I'm not catching up to anyone's dust and that I'm probably alone. Well, I've also gone a little bit too far, and I don't want to go back and come across Phil when he is coming down the gnarly bits of Billirimba. So I stopped and sent Phil a message to his mobile phone from my Garmin InReach, and then I stopped and waited for a good 10-15 minutes for a reply from Phil, and I didn't get a reply on my InReach, and then it made me doubt, well, maybe Phil is ahead, and so I went all that way down and then tried to see even if I could send Phil a message on my phone, but his phone was working on Telstra up at the lookout, and mine on Optus was not. So again, because the systems are slightly different, I've decided, well, all I can do is now keep going because I'm that far in front, and I sent another message to Phil, again on his mobile, which you can do from the inReach, and saying I will go down to Rocky River Road and I'll wait down at the bottom at Rocky River Road, because by this stage I'm thinking that he's actually turned right and has gone, and his GPS has rerouted his route and is taking him around the long way, which actually takes you via much better tracks and actually brings you into Rocky River Road that way. So I thought, well, the only place where those two things intersect is actually down here at the bottom, where this track meets the track that becomes Rocky River Road coming in. So I headed down there and I sent another message again saying that that's where I would be and with the coordinate. So in the meantime, just to give you Phil's side of it, is he went, eventually realised at the next intersection up to the right that I wasn't there. He then went back to the lookout because he knew that he had signal there, and when he got to the lookout, he got my message. He replied on his mobile and it didn't come through on my inReach, which is a bit of a problem. And really, I guess way before this point we should have made sure that the two things were talking to each other. And it kind of depends a little bit weirdly on whether you've sent a message to their mobile and they're replying to your inReach number, or whether you've done it to email, and all of those things have got to line up for two different systems to work well with each other. Also, we've revised the Cornerman system, which is the system that we use all the time and that works so well. Even the modified Cornerman system, where the person in front waits until they see the person behind and then goes. And because literally it was only 100 meters to the turnoff, around a corner though, so I couldn't see him. Anyway, at this point I'm just going through and thought, well, I've sent 3 messages. At some point Phil will get the message, whether he's gone the long way around to the main road, back and up and round towards Tenterfield and then turn right and come down, or whatever. Because I'm also at this point nearly 4 hours from home, so it's now lunchtime and time is against us. So yeah, this is just a video of me basically making my way down, and the reason I'm including it is it's the footage that I've taken that no one would have seen, and B, a lot of people don't realise that this part that I'm coming to right here is where Billirimba joins the main road that comes up. Yeah, so you've got to know that this place here is where you turn off. Otherwise, you're just going to continue up this road, which goes off into the distance. So yeah, this little right turn here, if you don't have it marked on your map, it can be the wrong way to go. Also, I'd never been over this side, so I thought, I'll just go over there and have a look. And then I sat and looked on my GPS to see where that connected to and what it went to. It's always good to know where you are and where your riding options are. So at this point, I'm thinking, well, I better scoot down this road and down to where it joins with Rocky River Road, and so that's the basics of it. But yeah, it's kind of a weird feeling where look, I've sent messages but I'm not getting a message back. I'm assuming Phil at some point got the message, and he had. So I guess in the you know, bigger scheme of things also is, you know, how long can you wait? You know, I ride with a tinted visor on my helmet, and you know, at some point you would have to send a message and say, well, hey, I had to go. You know, I got to get home by 6:30 kind of thing. So, you know, I did have a time limit on it. But yeah, I mean, after this, I also didn't record Rocky River Road. I mean, I've got so many videos. You know, go have a look on my channel if you want to see what Rocky River Road's like. It's just a decomposed granite road that's very sketchy on both the surface and the traction, and basically you just slide the back into a corner, aim it in the direction that you want to go, and wait the outside foot peg and squirt it to the next corner and rinse, repeat any number of times. I mean, there's, I don't know, probably 200 corners on that whatever it is, 18 or 20k stretch of road. So yeah, on this one, just taking it easy around the livestock, obviously, as always. I don't think it'd be fun to bump into one of those, and I don't think they would enjoy it either. So yeah, a little bit of a tale of, you know, spoiler alert, this one does turn out well. Phil got the message, sent a reply, which I didn't ever get through on the InReach, and 15 minutes later, Phil was there, and we went and did Rocky Road and continued, and had a blast. At that point, we scooted up Houghton's Road and you know, White Swamp, and did the that squirt. No, not White Swamp. This is Duck Creek, and you know, did the squirt back in to get some gas, and then hightail it for home. So I guess all's well that ends well, but you know, if either of us had a drama, you know, would have been an extra complication for it. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Phil's method. I'm not saying my method is right. I'm just saying that you have to make sure that both of your methods do work well together, and that you're practiced in what's going to happen and know the scoop. So yeah, that's the last video of this series for this ride. It was great to ride with Phil and ride with another bike with the magic suspension. I know it's cheating, Michael and Neil, but yeah. Have I ever mentioned how much I do like my 890 Rally? I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned it before, but yeah, we'll leave you with that one, and thanks a lot for watching along, and there's more series to come, so thanks for that. Cheers. Have a good one.